Hello, lovely souls, and welcome. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you found the channel. This is a space where we explore love, life, spiritual insight, and the energy of attraction. In today's video, I'll be sharing an intuitive reading and energy update. This is one of my individual readings, separate from the main collective sessions, where messages come through a little more personally and intuitively. As I begin shuffling the cards, I am opening up to whatever guidance wants to surface at this moment. And just before starting this reading, I felt a strong sense or wave of nostalgic energy. It felt like someone specific from the past was gently stepping forward. Please remember, these readings can sometimes feel very detailed, but they are still general. Trust your intuition and take only what truly resonates with you. What's coming through is the energy of a person you haven't spoken to or connected with in a long time. This is someone you may have always sensed would return one day, even though they haven't shown up yet in the physical world. I'm also picking up that you and this person may be physically distant from one another, possibly even living in different time zones. Yet, despite the distance, there are moments when you can feel their energy tugging at yours, almost like an unspoken longing reaching out to you. This person feels burdened by a lot in their own life. The words coming through are, I'm still where you left me. Even if they were the one who walked away, it seems that since the separation, their life hasn't truly moved forward or gained momentum. It feels as though this person has been caught in a kind of pause, almost like stopped moving for them. Since the separation, their life seems to be running on autopilot, going through the motions without truly feeling present. As I tune in further, I'm seeing imagery of repetition, the same actions happening again and again, day after day. It reminds me of someone performing routine tasks without thought, aware on the surface, yet emotionally disconnected. Life is passing in front of them, but they feel stuck as if they are reliving the same moment over and over. They notice things happening around them, but there is a sense of emptiness beneath it all, almost like they are observing their own life rather than actively living it. That feeling of being trapped in a loop is very strong here. When I ask for more clarity, I'm hearing that they tried to completely change their life. This could be someone who relocated, traveled, or dramatically shifted their environment. The intention was to escape memories, to create distance from places that reminded them of you. What's coming through, though, is that they may never have admitted the real reason for that move. On a deeper, subconscious level, reminders of you were everywhere they went, and now they are realizing it wasn't the location that held the memories, it was the emotional and energetic connection they carried within them. What's coming through is that your presence left traces everywhere in their world. At first, they believed it was only certain places that reminded them of you, but now they are beginning to understand it goes much deeper than that. The connection you shared created an energetic mark within them, one that didn't fade with time or distance. Just as they couldn't move through familiar streets without thinking of you, they also can't stay in their own thoughts for very long time without your energy resurfacing. Even in silence, even after long periods without contact, memories of you continue to arise. It's as though your essence is woven into their mind and awareness. With communication energy coming through strongly, it feels likely that this person will eventually find their way back into your life through conversation. At the same time, there's a still deep realization unfolding for them, an understanding that the energetic bond you created isn't something they can undo or escape. They are recognizing that your influence on them is lasting, I'm hearing that you changed them in a meaningful way. Though they never fully acknowledged it at that time, they didn't express gratitude or recognize how deeply meeting you affected them. You offered them a chance to grow, to shift their path in a more aligned and positive direction. However, what's becoming clear is that they didn't step into that opportunity. The door was open, but they chose not to walk through it. Instead of taking action and evolving, they stayed where they were, and that choice created distance between you. It no longer matters who physically walked away or how the separation happened. On an energetic level, the disconnect occurred because you continued moving forward on a path of growth and transformation, while they chose to remain stagnant. When two energies no longer evolve at the same pace, separation becomes inevitable. You are someone who is constantly expanding, learning, and elevating, and when another soul isn't ready to meet you at that level, the connection naturally shifts. When someone isn't willing to grow from within, they naturally fall out of sync with your energy. They simply can't move at the same spiritual or emotional pace as you. What I'm sensing here is that your presence became deeply imprinted in this person's mind, so much so that it feels impossible for them to escape it. They have tried in every possible way they know to release you, to move on completely, but nothing has truly worked. No matter what they do, your energy continues to surface for them. Since the separation, their heart appears to have remained largely closed. I'm picking up that early on they may have moved quickly into another situation or connection, not because it was meaningful, but because it served as a temporary distraction. That connection faded over time, and when it did, they were left facing the emotions they tried to avoid. At that point, reaching out to you felt very difficult. There was embarrassment, hesitation, and sense that the door between you might already be shut, possibly because you had chosen to protect your energy and move forward. They believed that shifting their focus to something new would help them forget you, but it didn't. Instead, it only confirmed how deeply you had impacted them. Since then, they have felt emotionally unavailable, as though their heart hasn't fully opened to romance again. There is a strong sense here that their inability to let you go isn't about attachment alone, it's about realizing too late what they lost. What I'm sensing is a deep, almost hopelessly romantic side within this person, a part of them that you awakened. You brought out a tenderness in them, a softness, a desire to express love in thoughtful and meaningful ways. It feels like you accessed a part of their heart that no one else ever truly reached. At the time, they didn't recognize how rare that was. They assumed it was something they could recreate elsewhere, something they might easily find again. So, when another opportunity appeared, they turned toward it, believing they could replace what they shared with you. Only later did they realize that the connection you had was not ordinary. It was once in a lifetime. Your presence left a permanent mark on them, and even now, your memory remains vivid. Yet the door between you feels closed. For many of you, that door was closed when they chose to walk away from your connection and seek comfort in something else. There is a sense that what they shared with you felt too revealing. Being with you required them to face parts of themselves they weren't ready to acknowledge. Because of that, they tried to silence their intuition. They pushed down their feelings, creating distance not just from you, but from their own inner truth. For a short time, that may have seemed to work, but now they are realizing that you are deeply etched into their thoughts, their memories, and their inner awareness. No matter how much they try to distract themselves, your energy continues to surface. It's becoming clear to them that escaping those feelings was never truly possible. I'm sensing that this realization has been rising strongly for them lately, and that may be why this message is reaching you at just the right moment. Right now, their longing for you feels especially deep and heavy. There is a also strong sense of frustration around them. It's as if they feel that nothing in their life has unfolded the way they hoped. Since the separation, they have been feeling that things have slowly unraveled, leaving them questioning where everything went wrong. What they are beginning to understand now is that meeting you was a turning point, an opportunity to shift their life in a healthier, more aligned direction. At the time, they didn't step into that moment, and now they see it clearly. Because of that awareness, there is a desire to return, to come back into your space somehow. Yet at the same time, there's uncertainty and fear. They are unsure if they even have the right to reach out anymore, or if you would be open to hearing from them at all. They seem caught between wanting to reconnect and doubting whether the door is still open, quietly holding on to hope while also bracing for the possibility that it may already be closed. I do feel that they have been quietly replaying conversations with you in their mind, imagining what it would feel like to speak to you again. Their energy right now feels gentle, exposed, and emotionally open. For some of you, the last interaction you shared with this person may have ended on a tense or distant note, possibly even an argument, and there is a strong sense of them wishing it had not ended that way. It feels like they want the chance to return and have an honest, heart to heart conversation, once rooted in openness rather than defensiveness. At the same time, they don't know how to approach you or whether they even have the right to. So instead of acting, they remain stuck, sitting with their emotions, feeling unable to move forward. I keep hearing the phrase, I had it and I lost it. Music seems to play a powerful role for them. Certain love songs, possibly ones they once shared with you, or even playlists they created just for you, continue to bring your energy rushing back. Sometimes a song connected to you appears unexpectedly, and they take it as a sign, instantly pulling them deep into their feelings. What's becoming clear to them now is that the connection you shared was rare, something that only comes once. There was a deep emotional and energetic harmony between you, yet they wanted to push things forward too quickly, without balance or grounding. You, on the other hand, sensed the imbalance and set boundaries, choosing not to rush what needed time and growth. Instead of reflecting and doing the inner work required to meet you at that level, they pulled away. When they realized they couldn't move the connection forward easily or on their own terms, they withdrew rather than rising to the moment. They chose to detach quickly and shifted their focus towards something new, believing it would help them move on. But in doing so, they eventually came to understand what they had truly left behind. What I'm sensing here is that the connection between you was uneven. There was a lack of balance, yet they still wanted to push it forward without addressing what was misaligned. Your intuition, however, wouldn't allow that. On a deep level, you knew there were inner wounds and unresolved issues they needed to face within themselves first. You refused to let the connection become a temporary fix or an emotional crutch for them. Because of that, they pulled away and redirected their energy elsewhere, hoping another situation would soothe what they weren't ready to heal. But that attempt fell short. Over time, they have come to realize that no distraction could replace the impact you had on them. Now, much later, they are recognizing that your energy is deeply embedded within them. In their thoughts, their emotions, and their inner world, there is a strong desire to reconnect, yet uncertainty holds them back. They don't know how to approach you or if they are even welcome to try. It feels as though they are quietly searching for a sign, an opening, or an energetic invitation, some way to find their path back into your life. Still, there is a strong sense of hesitation within them. They are unsure whether you would even welcome them back into your life. The inner conflict they are experiencing feels deep and ongoing, which is why I'm sensing the need to pause and shift the energy here. Throughout this reading, their confusion has been showing up clearly. On one hand, they feel incredibly close to reaching out. On the other, they keep pulling themselves back, choosing instead to sit quietly with the emotions they have for you rather than acting on them. As I tune in further, to see how this may unfold. The energy points toward a struggle with self control. It feels like they have been consciously holding themselves back, telling themselves not to contact you. But there is also a sense that this restraint won't last forever. There may come a moment when their emotions rise so strongly that they momentarily lose that inner control. In that moment, they are likely to reach out, whether through a message, a call, or some subtle sign meant to get your attention. Right now, they seem to be spending a lot of time lost in thought. They are replaying memories, reflecting on meaningful moments you shared, and allowing their mind to drift back to the past. Alongside those memories comes a heavy sense of regret, an awareness that they let go too soon without fully understanding what they had. What stands out strongly here is a shift away from indecision. It feels as though their higher self is nudging them forward, urging them to take action rather than remain stuck in silence. Eventually, that inner push may become too strong to ignore, leading them to finally reach out and communicate what they have been holding inside. This message feels strongly aligned with higher awareness and inner clarity. What I'm sensing is that when this person does reach out, it will happen during a time when you are experiencing significant growth or a powerful positive shift in your life. For some of you, this transformation may already be underway. You might be building momentum, stepping into new opportunities, or feeling more aligned with your purpose. For others, this phase is still approaching, and it's during that period of expansion that this person is likely to reconnect. When your energy is elevated, abundant, and flowing with confidence, it's as though they feel it instinctively. The more you focus on yourself and continue moving forward, the more drawn their attention becomes. Your progress seems to awaken something within them. Emotionally, they are deeply affected. When they finally choose to speak, whatever they share will come from a sincere and vulnerable space. There's something meaningful they have been holding in their heart, something they want you to know. At the same time, I'm seeing you personally stepping into one of the most abundant chapters of your life so far. New beginnings, fresh possibilities, and positive momentum surround you. Because of this, some of you may find that when this person does return, you are no longer in the same place emotionally. You may not feel the need to reopen that door, and that choice will always be yours. The energy I'm hearing from them feels conflicted and self questioning. There's a doubt, longing, and confusion, wondering why they can't let go, questioning their own worth, and trying to understand why your love affected them so deeply. It's a mix of regret, vulnerability, and unresolved emotion that continues to surface. This person feels deeply attached to you, as though their thoughts keep returning to you again and again. At the same time, there is a strong awareness within them that they need to work on themselves first. They are in a phase of self reflection, trying to become more independent and grounded. Right now, they may feel overly dependent on others, whether emotionally, mentally, or even financially. There is a desire within them to build inner strength, confidence, and stability before approaching you again. They want to feel more secure in who they are rather than coming to you from a place of imbalance. Even so, I strongly sense that their higher self won't allow them to stay silent forever. Eventually, they will feel compelled to reach out and speak to you honestly, straight from the heart. When they do communicate, it feels like they'll finally offer clarity. There is an energy of return here, as though they want to explain why they walked away and what was truly happening within them at that time. I'm sensing accountability and self awareness, almost like a personal reckoning. This explanation is something you may never have received before. The ending between you happened so suddenly without closure, and they now seem to understand that. When they come forward, they are likely to address what was left unsaid and acknowledge their role in how things fell apart. When they come forward, their energy feels unguarded and sincere. There is a softness around them now that wasn't present before. This feels like a clear contrast to the last conversation you shared, a time when they had their walls up and weren't emotionally available or open with you. I'm sensing that they will express how their heart has remained largely closed since the two of you went your separate ways. They have come to understand that the love they experienced with you was rare and deeply fulfilling, and that nothing else has truly compared since then. Other connections simply didn't hold the same meaning or feel worth investing in. What stands out is that they will share all of this without knowing how you will respond. There is an uncertainty, vulnerability, and a real awareness that you may not welcome them back or want continued communication. For some of you, that may already be true. You may have moved on emotionally. Even so, it feels like something within them won't allow these words to remain unspoken. Their inner guidance seems determined to push them toward honesty and expression, regardless of the outcome. For them, speaking their truth feels necessary, not to control the result, but to finally release what's been held inside. This step feels essential for their personal growth and healing. So much of the ending between you was left unclear, and that lack of explanation created emotional loose ends. For them to truly move forward in a healthy way, they need to acknowledge their role in how things unfolded. Part of their healing requires taking full responsibility for the past and offering the clarity you were never given. Coming forward with honesty and openness feels like a necessary step in releasing what's been holding them back. That seems to be heart of this message. I'm going to gently close the reading here. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care, and I'll connect with you again in the next reading.